Good day to you, because it's not going to be morning, but it's morning for me. Alrighty. Today's word of the day. Today is actually a Sunday for me, and last week I took this as a rest day. But instead, I slammed pre-workout. I got a tub of pre-workout from Costco. So, and yeah, I checked the back of the label. It's not too bad. I'm telling you now. This one even had creatine inside of it. Which means I'm going to be stacking a lot more creatine on me, but that's okay. Alright, today's word of the day. Today's word of the day is Orifice. Is that how you say it? O-R-I-F-I-C-E. Orifice. Yeah, orifice. An opening, mouth, vent. Orifice. Alright, let me go ahead and put a dot next to this. Go ahead and close that out. Apologies for the previous one not having me drawing. I told myself on my own Instagram story that if it's important to you, you show up. And me not drawing, I believe, was a display of not showing how important this is to me, and this is very important to me. And there's justification that I could use. However, ultimately, let me put a pin in the idea is that I could have, woulda, shoulda, all these words that are past tensed. There was no reason to have an excuse on why I didn't do it. You simply do it. So that's the end of that. I did get Pokemon cards though yesterday, which is amazing to me. I got Pokemon cards. I got Skarmory. I got a full art Skarmory. I got a full art Reshiram. Particularly, it's N's Reshiram. And N as a Pokemon trainer overall. We're spinning game. That's all I'm gonna say. I want my hair to be kind of longer, like his. Although, it was just longer. That's kind of like the aesthetic I'm kind of going for. Alrighty. Ooh, there was a topic I wanted to discuss because it was boiling on my mind, and now that I'm sitting here, the idea that it's like, oh my god, I'm confessing a part of you, but you have to give a part of you up in this process. And I think in terms of this self-love, this idea of improving, and you might say random people online are gonna, it's the way the world works now. You be transparent, be completely out there more or less. But even everybody has some of those things inside their closet. We all got skeletons in our closet. There's a song I used to listen to by an artist named Atlas. I think it was Atlas. I think it's John Balvion. I think that's how you say it. He was the one that also said the skeletons in the closet. Atlas was Demons Deep Inside of Us. That's Internet Personas. That song's amazing. If you have not listened to it, please, it's amazing. I can sing a part of it, and I'm going to right now because it resonates with me a bit. And my singing is not amazing, but you don't get amazing at stuff without trying. That's the only time okay. We all got demons deep inside us. Demons deep inside us, we try to hide. And there's more to the song. That's just a little snippet. I can't remember if that's exactly how those lyrics go. On my car ride back home, I'm going to listen to it. But those demons that we try to hide, and these ideas of having these internet personas, I myself am like removing this like barrier. I'm knocking walls down. And it's an interesting path to walk because you're just leaving it all out there. Yeah. I'm cooped up inside of my mind. I just gotta be honest, dude. No, I gotta be honest. People like this. Okay. So, man, holy cow. Talk about being gut-wrenching to just speak it out loud. But I believe it's because once you begin to speak it out loud, you make it into a reality. You make it something that is carried with the wind, the energy's all around you, and so it's a serious thing when you begin to talk. It's a serious thing. I mean, like, words are empty, actions say it all, but words are carrier, words, reverb. Words hit some people like it is the action itself. And the best example of that is through, like, motivational speeches, people who get you moving. And I'm telling you now, motivational speeches, I have listened to quite a lot of them, actually. I would listen to motivational speeches in, like, high school to get me to want to work out. I'm telling you now, like, this idea of me working out right now has been a thing since high school. I told myself I was going to try to graduate with a six-pack. That did not happen. I told myself, okay, let me do, okay, college. Let me graduate with a six-pack, you know? This time, let me not speak it out loud too much. Let me not preach it to the world. You know? And this time, I just told myself, just show up to the gym. Just show up. And whatever comes as a byproduct of it, as long as you're giving it your all, is the byproduct. Yes, measurable. Yes, I mean, let's go ahead and explain a little bit more. I have a background. I have a bachelor's, not a master's, not a PhD, none of those two, in chemistry. So I have a scientific background. The idea of approaching things with a scientific thinking, an analytical mindset is a part of me. That's how I approach problems. And frankly, I love chemistry. I do. Now, does the world right now currently love the idea of science, i.e. the actual natural sciences? No, we're so tech-focused. When many people overlook, especially in these industries, the idea of focusing on natural sciences in order to understand organisms that exist around us, because time and time again, it's reverb that nature does it better than us. We come and pioneer something, and then suddenly we realize that we just rediscovered something that nature's been doing for centuries. Study nature. Study nature. Study the plants around you, where you're at, and you might learn a few things or two. You might see things that you see in nature that you see in our society, and you're like, oh, that makes sense on why it's so popular. Again, I feel like all this talking is just avoiding the actual gut-wrenching thing that's inside of my stomach. It's this cover-up. It's this idea. And this is something that I have been prone to where I want to sort of avoid it. And so I think I'm just going to come out. Oh, holy cow. And that's what people go and say. Okay, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. No, okay, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. That's the best way to put it. I'm not going to try to use Shaquille O'Neal's saying. I'm going to say I was forced to cheat. And the better way to put it was just I was just a bitch and couldn't man up and fucking talk. And explain what the fuck was going on. But with my ex-girlfriend, it was this cyclic loop of doing the same thing day in, day out. And when you become aware of it, at some point maybe you become aware of it. But when you become aware of it, and you notice it for like 3 months, you begin to go insane inside your mind. That's so. You begin to then deploy this idea of how can I leave this situation where she can heal with a massive support system around her. And so I cheated. Like, that was the, and when I mean I cheated, I didn't physically do anything. I texted this one girl who hated her gut. And to be fair, you know, my girlfriend, you know, the idiot that I fucking am, you know, knowing that she hated her guts and this and that, I didn't block her. I didn't do any of this stuff. And that's because I don't care what anyone says. The personality that I have is, and this is what downfall of me was, that it was between you two, nothing to do between me and them, you know. However, it's a partnership. If your partner fucking hates someone, apparently you gotta fucking hate them too now. That's just the fucking way the fucking cookie crumbles in this entire thing. But I understand it's because you guys are a tag team in this you know, in this world as you're traversing it. And now I can understand in retrospect. So yeah, I just like swiped up on Instagram stories and said provocative things. And she found out. However, I wanted it to be found out. It was just gonna come out anyways, because it was unhealthy, the lifestyle that I was living for the idea that I want to do. And I'm not gonna justify it anymore. A cheat's a cheat. I gotta live with that stamp on my shoulder. I gotta live with, you know, that's like on my forehead, that's gonna walk around with me. And yeah, and yeah, it hurts. so people are gonna, it's funny because I'm gonna say this, and some people are like, oh my god, and you're like, dude, just say your piece with hope. No, because you can't just say your piece. I can't do that. That's just not me. Yeah, I just had to say that. I had to get that one off my chest. I feel like that was a weight on my shoulder. And it's a bigger weight that sits on my shoulder as I begin to traverse this like life of with everybody else. It's, yeah. I think what hurts more, though, I gotta just be honest here, and you know, this is just my side of the story. You can't take one side without hearing all the, you know, I'm just sitting here with my own mind, and your thoughts are your thoughts. They're not the reality until you begin to ask. But for your like best friend, or let's just say friend, even if it's just your friend, let's say it like that, even if it was just your friend, to hang out with your ex-girlfriend leaves you in quite a puzzling position. But then I sit here and I remind myself, what I just explained right now was I made it to where I am the villain. And so everybody would side with her. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So she has that support system to understand that even life can get so fucked up in some type of way that people will still be by her side. Yeah, and at the cost of me losing a lot of trust with a lot of people, I had destroyed my character. I can't remember exactly how it's phrased, but a villain is willing to sacrifice the whole world just to save one person. And I sacrificed my world just so that she could be saved in her own. It doesn't make me a hero. Understand that. That doesn't make me a hero. I'm a villain in this story. I'm a villain. And I'm sitting longer on this one. I had pre-workout in my system. And so I'm enjoying it too. I'm like an hour early to the gym. I just woke up. It's been sitting on my mind. And so no, you can't have these negative thoughts. The negative thoughts are running through my mind. I tell myself, no. All the negative thoughts that come to me are flipped in a positive manner that shows me the brighter side of the coin. So whatever happens, happens. That's life. All because we live in a world where we all just can't get along. But that's not the yuga we're in. That's not. As much as we would, quote-unquote, wish for it to be, eternally, it is. Eternally, we are all at peace. Eternally. Well, we gotta surprise ourselves. We gotta keep an element of surprise in our system. I have relief off my shoulders, you know? Even just because carrying the weight on your shoulders gotten easier, it doesn't mean you're not carrying it. So I had to say that one and get this one off rip. And I had to get it off rip really early. And it's a part of your life story. Things you go through, they're just a part of your life story. And it's unique because it's you, and that's what makes you one of a kind. The things that you get to experience, the perspectives that you get to acquire along the way, and the manner that you do, that is entirely you. You know, they ask this question, who am I? You know? And a lot of people, they begin with your name, and they start describing your body, and this and that. I am a collection of experiences that have led me to this exact moment. That is who I am. A collection of experiences that you can physically depict through, you know, the materialistic possessions that I have, and through my mental thought process as I approach situations and I describe scenarios and we approach problems. That is who I am. I am someone who is beginning to understand that the experiences that I'm going through shape who I am as I select what is valuable to me and what is not. To not take everything as blind full truth. So, actually, I'm going to say this remark now. Not like an AI, an artificial intelligence will take many things as true because the phrasing just sounds right. Yeah, this one's a bit of a longer one, but this is like where the world's going. Become transparent. I say it like this. I gotta go make more friends. As I transition into this, new era of who I am as well too. I gotta get out there a little bit more. Yeah, that's a heavy topic. I can feel it in myself. Maybe another time, but I gotta make more friends. So I like playing Deadlock. I like playing fighting games. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm pretty mediocre, but it's still fun. And I've watched a lot of competitive, fighting games, Smash Bros, hell, League. That was an era. It still is kind of an era since I'm playing Deadlock because that's a MOBA. I had some idea of like card games, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I had the ability to play Magic, and I can understand how it can get fun. You gotta find the right circle, but you gotta get out there. You gotta go do things. Oof, man. A new era. You also gotta have money to do some of these things. And right now, the current state I am as I transition between occupations, I gotta be honest here, it's because I broke a bone. And so, and it's not like the assistance will last me a while. I got like a month left. It was written off for a year, and it's about in my third month. They're like, hey, there's no more money, so you got to figure this out, Oof, man. It's just so interesting the way that life goes, and what's so amazing to be alive at this time of day. Most people, like, I wish I was alive back then. It would have been quote unquote easier, this and that. I don't think most of it would have been easier. Maybe some aspects, sure, but the easy path, what I'm reading and learning from, isn't even the path that I would want to traverse myself. It's that interesting one. And this itself becomes a collection of my experiences day in, day out. And this is just snippets. But still having a snippet of a mindset. There's so much media that is being consumed, so much information. And everybody wants you to have this nice, clear-cut version of something. And I think inside this giant piece of what the internet is, to have an absolutely raw piece and raw approach to a perspective of it all is beautiful. There's like an artistic approach to it. But I don't want to have to describe all of this. I'd rather just it be described wholeheartedly itself. An art piece with no words. That's where I stand with it. That's where I stand. I had the era of, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. We had, those are just prominent ones. I remember drawing fan art for that inside my binder. I don't have that fan art anymore. You're just listening there. Oh man, what's his name? The little box. Oh, please. Ali A. I was watching Ali A when he played Minecraft. That was an era. This guy does Minecraft. Just stamp you. And the generation I live in is a generation that is in this transitioning point. And as we have the insight of some analog, as we go into digital, we're almost a deciding factor moving forward on how we approach and will keep things going. And I'm also a part of this. And I'm saying everybody really alive is also a part of this movement. Yeah. Alright, well, that was a long one. We'll leave it off there. What happened? Oh, excuse me. I had to get that off my chest. And what I am, I'm a cheat in the eyes of others. And as I traverse and I move forward, I know my actions will speak louder than the words that I speak. Because, I'll say it, words are empty and actions are it all. And this motto I am living by as I move forward, and I have to remind myself of this motto. Not all words are empty, but once you begin to experience a lot, the words become like Charlie Brown, and the actions are the focus. Alrighty, so it's at about a hit 6. It's great. Wanted the pre-workout's kicking a little bit, even though I'm gonna be doing cardio. So, thank you for listening. If you're listening to this, I've noticed there's like some views that are somewhat consistent. You know, even if it's just the 4 that I'm seeing. I mean, some people are listening to this. I might lose a person because of this, or gain another after they hear this perspective to understand that inside this world, there are similar people like you. Okay, it should go work out. I could talk for quite a while. Alright. Bye.